The dark side of Dubai, the false paradise. No matter how bad things get in the West, you should never move to Dubai. Forget all the videos you see of celebrities being paid to promote Dubai's latest mega project. The truth is far dirtier. Behind the lip fillers, skyscrapers, and artificial beaches, Dubai is a modern nightmare. A city as solid and stable as the sand it was built on. It is a desert mirage destined to fail. Join me on this thrilling journey, and I will tell you what the Bible has to say about this city that many praise and glorify without knowing its dark side, condemned by God. But before that, give a like and subscribe to the channel, helping us reach 1 million subscribers in 2025. Now, without further ado, let's get to the point. If you type Dubai into YouTube's search bar, you'll usually find two types of videos. Some expose the living hell it truly is, listing human rights abuses and countless reasons why it's a terrible place to live. Others seem to say the exact opposite. There are tons of influencer vlogs boasting about how amazing, safe, and clean the city is, with people driving luxury cars and paying no taxes. So what's the truth? Well, confusingly, both are somewhat true. If you're a wealthy influencer, Dubai might seem like paradise. Tax-free beachfront apartments and a large community of like-minded expatriates make it the perfect place to start a business and fill your Instagram stories. You can hardly walk a block downtown without seeing a luxury car dealership or a sparkling mall. It's a place designed for luxury, a playground for the rich and powerful. One thing you can't deny is that Dubai is absolutely drowning in money. That might imply that there are real opportunities, but like everything else, it's just part of the image. Countless models and hopeful young people move to Dubai every year in search of fortune. Most of them, however, will not succeed. The details are murky, with non-disclosure agreements and shame-limiting information. Some stories are so obscene that they can't be discussed on YouTube. But there are many examples of models receiving massive offers from the ruling elites for the most depraved acts imaginable. Lured by free flights, luxury hotel stays, and five-figure sums, many end up coerced into giving up their dignity. One report mentions a perverse party in an isolated mansion where a model was paid $50,000 to fulfill the owner's desires. For a country where anything beyond holding hands can result in a prison sentence, the rumors are shocking. But suppressing these kinds of stories is crucial for Dubai's future. If they don't, they might scare away young people and money. Just like the feudal skyscrapers and artificial islands are part of a calculated move to make Dubai the world's tourism capital. And so far, it's working. Many people see Dubai as the new trendy vacation destination, frequently ranking among the most visited cities in the world. But why have the UAE spent trillions turning what was once a small desert town into an oasis? Obviously, the UAE and other Middle Eastern nations rely entirely on oil for income. That's what made them some of the richest countries in the world. But eventually, the oil wells will dry up. The UAE is building Dubai as an artificial paradise to prepare for that. It's a race against time. They need to diversify their economy before it's too late. What's happening in Dubai has happened to various cities throughout history. When the Mongol Empire pillaged much of the known world, it became the richest on the planet. Thousands of tons of gold and gems, along with the best scholars, artists, and craftsmen, were brought to Karakoram, their capital. But it was all temporary. When the empire collapsed, the city was destroyed and its wealth vanished. The same happened to Samarkand, once the seat of the mighty Timurid Empire, which today is a shadow of what it was. All that remains are ruins. Dubai is exactly the same, but even more fragile. Unlike cities with deep historical roots and sustainable infrastructures, Dubai's very existence depends on constant maintenance, financial influx, and an unwavering commitment to its artificial grandeur. The city's palaces and monuments, often seen as symbols of its economic prowess, are predominantly constructed from steel, concrete, and glass. These materials, while impressive, are not immune to the harsh realities of nature. Without regular maintenance and significant investment, these structures would deteriorate rapidly, succumbing to the relentless forces of time, climate, and neglect. Dubai is built in the heart of a desert, an unforgiving environment where the heat is intense, water is scarce, and the sand is ever encroaching. If left unattended, the desert would reclaim the land, eroding the sleek facades and swallowing entire developments and dunes, much like it has done to many forgotten settlements throughout history. To truly understand Dubai's precarious existence, one must look back at its origins. Before it became a global metropolis, Dubai was nothing more than a modest fishing village. Its early economy revolved around pearl diving, a grueling and often dangerous occupation that sustained local livelihoods for centuries. Divers would spend hours in the sea, searching for natural pearls that were highly valued in global markets. This industry defined the region for much of its early history, providing a steady, albeit fragile, source of income for its inhabitants. However, the emergence of cultured pearls in the early 20th century dealt a severe blow to this trade, leading to economic instability and forcing many residents to seek alternative means of survival. During the 19th century, Dubai came under British protectorate rule, a period that played a crucial role in shaping its future. The British saw Dubai as a strategically significant location, given its access to maritime trade routes and its potential as a commercial hub. As part of their influence, the British introduced legal and administrative reforms, laying the groundwork for what would later become a thriving economy. They helped establish a rudimentary infrastructure, supporting trade and commerce while ensuring political stability under local leadership. However, while British influence provided stability, it did not drastically alter Dubai's economic foundation. The city remained largely dependent on fishing and small-scale trade, with no significant industries to secure its long-term prosperity. This trajectory changed dramatically in 1971 when Dubai, along with the rest of the United Arab Emirates, gained independence from British rule. It was a time of uncertainty, as the newly formed nation had to define its identity and economic direction. Fortunately, fate intervened in the form of a discovery that would alter Dubai's destiny forever: oil. The discovery of oil reserves in the region completely transformed Dubai's economic landscape. What was once a struggling fishing village was now sitting on one of the world's most valuable resources. Almost overnight, Dubai gained access to immense wealth, a fortune that few could have predicted just decades earlier. The newfound oil wealth provided Dubai with an unprecedented opportunity for development. Unlike many resource-rich nations that squander their fortunes, Dubai's leadership adopted a visionary approach. They understood that oil was a finite resource and that relying solely on it would not secure the city's future. With this in mind, they embarked on an ambitious modernization project, channeling oil revenues into infrastructure development. Roads were paved where there were once only sand dunes, and buildings began to rise at an astonishing pace. Schools and hospitals were constructed to provide essential services, and efforts were made to attract businesses and foreign investment. Over the following decades, Dubai transformed at an unimaginable speed. From a small desert settlement, it became a sprawling metropolis, boasting some of the most iconic architectural feats the world had ever seen. The skyline was punctuated by record-breaking skyscrapers, luxury hotels, and artificial islands, all designed to establish Dubai as a global powerhouse. The city's leaders aggressively pursued diversification, investing in tourism, finance, and real estate to reduce dependence on oil. Major international corporations were enticed to set up headquarters in Dubai, benefiting from the city's business-friendly policies, tax incentives, and strategic location. Despite its meteoric rise, Dubai's future remains uncertain. Its success is built on a foundation that, while impressive, is inherently fragile. The desert climate presents an ongoing challenge, as extreme heat, sandstorms, and water scarcity continue to test the limits of sustainability. Maintaining the city's infrastructure requires continuous investment, and any financial downturn or global crisis could severely impact its ability to sustain its extravagant developments. Additionally, while tourism and commerce have flourished, The lack of natural resources means Dubai remains highly dependent on imports for food, water, and essential goods. Dubai's story is one of rapid transformation, ambition, and calculated risk. It has defied expectations, turning an inhospitable desert into a global icon of modernity and luxury. Yet, its survival hinges on its ability to adapt, innovate, and maintain the delicate balance between growth and sustainability. As history has shown, cities built on fragile foundations are often at the mercy of forces beyond their control. Whether Dubai can defy the odds and secure its place in the future remains to be seen. Over time, Dubai became a financial, commercial, and tourist hub. With no taxes and attractive economic policies, the city drew foreign investment and global talent. But to sustain its rapid growth, Dubai needed labor. Today, about 90% of the UAE's population are immigrants, mostly from India, Africa, and other developing countries. These people were drawn by promises of work, but often end up in dire conditions, living in overcrowded accommodations and facing labor abuses. With no minimum wage and no guaranteed rights, they become dependent on their employers and vulnerable to the system. While influencers are drawn by the glamour, migrant workers are the backbone of the city, living a brutally different reality. Investigations reveal that many live in unsanitary conditions, receive meager wages, and are frequently exploited. During the pandemic, many companies failed to provide food and shelter for workers, despite government promises. The Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building, is a symbol of this. Its construction was marked by accusations of worker abuse, with many earning less than €3 per day. To make matters worse, the city's sewage system couldn't handle the building, requiring sewage trucks to remove waste. Even more ambitious projects, such as artificial islands, are equally problematic, frequently sinking or eroding over time. Dubai could have taken a different path, like Singapore. Both were small fishing areas that transformed into major urban centers. However, Singapore prioritized sustainable growth, investing in efficient infrastructure, quality of life, and worker protection. Dubai, on the other hand, focuses only on its image, creating empty skyscrapers and extravagant projects with no real meaning. In Singapore, migrant workers receive decent wages and guaranteed rights. In Dubai, there is no minimum wage, and labor laws are rarely enforced. Moreover, Singapore promotes social mobility, allowing anyone to prosper. In Dubai, wealth is concentrated among the local elites and foreign business people, leaving workers with no chance of advancement. In the end, Dubai is a castle of sand, a city built on exploitation, where the reality of millions of workers is hidden behind a facade of luxury and wealth. Eventually, this illusion may collapse when people realize the empty and artificial nature of this so-called paradise. Dubai's glittering skyline, represented by its towering skyscrapers, extravagant artificial islands, and glitzy designer stores, hides an uncomfortable truth. Behind this opulence lies a system that relies on the ruthless exploitation of immigrant labor, made up of workers who often live in dire conditions and endure grueling hours without basic rights. While influencers and celebrities promote the image of Dubai as a haven for the rich and successful, the reality faced by most of the people who built this city is entirely different. Behind the grandiosity are individuals who dedicate their lives to keeping this metropolis running, but rarely reap the benefits of their labor. These are laborers, domestic workers, and service industry employees who, with no prospects for social mobility, live on the margins of this ostentatious luxury. Eventually, when the dust settles and the glow of artificial lights is no longer enough to conceal Dubai's contradictions, the city may face its ultimate test. Will it adapt and find a more balanced path for the future? Or will it become just another example of fleeting greatness, doomed to be forgotten like so many civilizations that once seemed invincible? Time will tell.